Alright, first things first, and I got a second WebBot video update, which this is one of those things where you realize the data in this WebBot that was put out well in advance of circumstances we're facing right now. You have to scratch your head and say, how the hell did it know that? That's the next video I'm going to do. Right now, headline. As I said the other day, the EU thinking about just dissolving the credit rating agencies. We don't need them anymore. Who needs those guys anymore? They're going to downgrade us. We don't need them anymore. Right? So now it's official. EU lawmakers approve amendment to end the use of credit ratings agencies. And Zero Head says, why are we not surprised? The EU has just voted to scrap the use of ratings agencies and the next step on the road to a ban of all policy criticism via Bloomberg. It seems just a few years ago when these very same ratings agencies were raising ratings and supporting the banking system and mortgage provision and sovereign inclusions into monetary unions, that the political elite could not, showing off their bronze statues of AAA-ness. Okay, I guess he missed a couple words there, but the political elite could not stop showing off their, AAA ratingness, whatever. And the most bizarre of twists, they would prefer if they were allowed to rate themselves. So the second headline under that, what was that? Lawmakers call for EU to issue sovereign credit ratings. In other words, hey, my name is Joe Blow, and I give Spain a AAA+++ rating. You ought to borrow from them and buy their bonds and everything's fine. And what do you base that information off of? Absolutely nothing. I said so, so believe me. That's what that means. So, if the banking system, the whole financial system, the whole thing basically has a credit score, like you and I love these videos me and Greg have been doing the last few days about the credit scores and people getting pissed off. You gotta pay that debt. Really? Hey, EU, Spain, Herman Van Rompuy, head of the EU, unelected officials, the heads of all of them, IMF, World Bank, the ECB, European Central Bank, the entire EU zone, the Eurozone, EU lawmakers approve amendment to get rid of credit ratings. Now hold on a minute, hold on, what? Isn't that the same thing as a credit score system for you and I? You and I have a rating, it's called the credit score. You've probably seen 14,000 commercials online about getting your free credit report. So we have a credit system that we can't just decide one day, listen, everybody on you, every subscriber of JSnip4 and Greg Vegas and Pastor Dow, all of you guys, several thousands of you, we hereby today write on a piece of paper that credit ratings for you and I, credit scores, are now null and void. No longer will we look at those. And as a matter of fact, we will secondarily approve a right to issue what we're calling sovereign credit ratings. What does that mean? Well, that means you got bad credit, you're a JSnip4 subscriber, Pastor Dow subscriber, Greg Vegas subscriber, you got bad credit? Yeah, not anymore. I hereby, JSnip4, I hereby give this person a, you have a 400 something credit score? Yeah. I hereby give you AAA's credit, you now have a 790. Matter of fact, we'll go over 800 just for fun. Just like that. Now would that fly over here? Could you call the credit card company? Oh, by the way, I know I need a credit card. Well, you don't have good credit. Well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Chase, JP Morgan and Friends and Citigroup. What do you mean don't worry about it? You need credit through us. Well, I know, don't worry about it. I don't pay attention to credit ratings. They are null and void, and my subscribers on YouTube, passed our own law between ourselves that we no longer look at credit ratings anymore. So, give me my money. Oh, okay. And then they have to give it up. Right? That will never happen. But it just happened for the big guys at the top. Just happened to them. They just changed, see how that works? When all is working, we have these rules, we have laws, you can't break the laws, we have regulations, can't break the regulations. And then, well, there's a crisis. And the crisis demands that we break the law, demands that we break regulations, and demands that we do whatever we feel like doing to fix the crisis. And you would think normally, well, that sounds right, you should be able to. I mean, if the whole world's about to die and you have to break a law to save the world, well, go ahead and break the law, right? That's normally the average thinking of somebody. But in this case, you and I got to continue following the same laws that other parties, heads of state, are breaking themselves. The ECB, they were never supposed to or allowed to buy bonds back from these countries. That was part of their charter or whatever. They did that right off the bat. They were never supposed to bail out people. They did that right off the bat, etc., etc., etc. So they changed the game in mid-game. They changed the rules mid-game. And they just changed the rules for themselves in mid-game. So now, who cares what the ratings agency says? And why is that? Because little old tiny Greece, regardless of who they just voted for recently, doesn't matter. There's a bigger, massive elephant in the room. Greece was a little ant. Now there's an elephant in the room, and it's called Spain. And it has some cousins and brothers and sisters, and they're called Italy and France. So we have Spain, Italy, and France. They can't afford to even bother with credit rating agency because they're all done. They're all finished. So what better idea than just remove the credit? You can no longer judge us. And on top of it, we judged ourselves. So I can't wait to hear some news coming up about, Spain gets back its AAA credit rating score after receiving a $500 billion bailout. How the hell did it get $500 billion and get a fantastic credit rating at the same time? Because they gave it to themselves. Instead of going down, which is it should have if you got $500 billion loan. I'm just making this up right now, by the way, but it's coming for sure. So rather than do that, you got a $500 billion loan, your credit rating is going down anyways. Okay, have a nice day. That's how it's supposed to work. Instead, it's the opposite. We're going to see you got downgraded, or excuse me, you got a $500 billion loan and your credit rating went to AAA plus because of this crap. Unbelievable. So I got to do a WebBot video update now real quick.